Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Monday Night Football here with Pete. We're going to be taking a look at tonight's game between the Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay are 4.5-point favorites with an implied total of 26.25, giving the Rams an implied total of 21.75. We're going to be taking just a look at a few of our favorite plays, nice quick look. And then if you want a more detailed look, we have our top plays article, and we also have a Discord chat later. So let's jump right into this, Pete, and lead off with our favorite cash captain.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Tonight, if you're playing cash, I think tonight is more of a GPP type of game, just because there's so many receivers playing tonight, and there's so much, receivers bring a high exposure to variance. But if you want to play cash, you got to go with Tom Brady. He's probably the safest, or he is the safest play on the board. He's expensive. He's $16,500, but he's going to be the optimal cash captain. The way he spreads the ball around, he's got a trio of receivers now that's probably the best in the game. He's coming off a 31.84 DK performance last week against Carolina, where he threw 3 touchdowns. He also ran a ball in. So Tom Brady has got to be your cash captain, I think. If there's anybody else, probably the closest I would think would be maybe a Ronald Jones, the running back, because he's been getting some more touches, is kind of bringing into the roles as the RB1 now. But that's pretty much it. Everybody else seems like a GDP play tonight.
Yeah, and that's a good way to avoid having to pick between all those receivers. Is just go with the guy who's going to throw the ball to the receivers. And add in Gronk too. That's 4 of the absolute best weapons in the NFL, so completely agree there. What makes this slate tough, though, is there's not really much of any values. What values do we have, though, that we're going to need to make that Tom Brady play work?
Well, giving values, if you want to call Antonio Brown a value, his price tonight is $7,800, so he's playing kind of a high value range. But I think Brown is definitely in play tonight. Talent-wise, he's still, you want to look at it, he could probably still be one of the best talents in the NFL. Does he still have it? It's the big question. But we know how much Brady likes to throw to him. His targets are trending upwards. He's had 7 catches on 8 targets last week for 69 yards. The week before that, his first game with Tampa, he had 3 catches on 5 targets for 31 yards. So if that trend continues, we could see a big game tonight. And my thinking is, why you want to get ahead of him? A big game is coming if he's staying with his team, so let's get on it early, and hopefully it's this week. I would think also that I'd also think that the Rams are going to be focusing more on Evans and Godwin. Jalen Ramsey is a big factor. It looks like he may be on Brown, but he also may be on Evans too. So it looks like Ramsey actually right now is doing a lot of moving around, so it's more versatile. But I still like Brown a lot. Brown is definitely going to be in my GPP lineups and probably even cash too. Anybody else said there's not a real lot of value tonight. Maybe somebody like a Gerald Everett, who's 2,600 for the Rams. Him and Higbee are both averaging about the same amount of targets, about 4 or 5 targets a game. Everett's the cheapest play, so I'd probably run Everett out there. And if you want to look at the Rams running backs, they got 3 running backs together. You want to get contrarian there. If anybody, I'm looking at Malcolm Brown. He's 5,400. Because if the Rams are playing a negative game script and they're playing from behind, looks like Brown has the passing role with the higher floor. So I'd probably run with Malcolm Brown.
Yep, I'm agreed with all of that. Everett's a guy that I actually like. I was looking at his log. He's been fairly consistent, actually. He's not going nuts, but he's not going to kill you. He's been getting about 5 to 10 points, and last week he actually got tackled on the 1 yard line. So he could have had a pretty darn good week last week. So I agree with that kind of punt there. Leonard Fournette's another guy I know you've highlighted as a value play here.
I like Fournette a lot tonight. Actually, I'm glad you brought it up. There's actually 2 more players. You get a huge savings with Fournette today. He's half of Jones' salary. And once again, if the Bucs are in a negative game script, if they're trailing early, I could see them going to Fournette a lot today. You may see a lot of passes in the passing game. I think he's actually a sneaky play tonight at only 6,600. Jones has been trending as the RB1. He's been getting more carries. But the way this has been going all season with the Bucks, when you think one guy is becoming the RB1, all of a sudden the next guy pops up. So don't be afraid to play Leonard Fournette today. I mean, it's probably risky more for GPP play, but that price is $6,600. I could roll with him all day. There's also one more player, and it's a kicker tonight. The kicker for the Rams, and it looks like he just made the roster today, because there's a question mark whether he's going to play tonight. This kid Matt Gay, he's only 5,400, and he actually was the Bucks kicker last year. He's probably one of the league's best rookie kickers. But then the Bucks turned around this offseason, signed Ryan Succoth, and Gay just hooked up with the Rams this week. So if you believe in revenge game factors, this is a perfect game for Matt Gay. And the Bucks are the type of team, especially on prime time, they find ways to like lose in weird ways or weird narratives, and it could be the Matt Gay narrative tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna probably have to roll somebody like a Matt Gay tonight or Gerald Everett, because everybody's priced pretty accordingly. You know, these all the main receivers, running backs are, 8K range. So you're going to have to consider, somebody like that, the kickers from either side, maybe one of these Rams running backs. The defenses, I suppose you could look at. You're going to have to get a little uncomfortable with a spot or two. It's just the nature of the beast tonight, because everybody's priced really where they should be. Gronk comes in at a decent price as well, worth noting. So it'll be an interesting one tonight.
It's a good point. Was the Rams defense is $3,000. I mean, they got 31 sacks in the season. Last week they had 6 against Russell Wilson, so I guess they're in play. I mean, the Bucks defense is kind of low for the good of a defense that they are, 3,800. I mean, they could get the Jared Goff tonight, so both of them are in play. So, and I think you're right. The way you talk about it, I think Fournette, Everett probably are your top cash play values, or one of the kickers. I mean, Succoth is one of the best kickers in football. We like him. So you probably can make a lineup with Brady, but you're going to have some value there. So, as I said, once again, GPP is probably the way to go tonight, and only because of the receivers. There's so many good receivers out there tonight, and with the touchdown variance of receivers, you don't know who's going to get the ball. I mean, out of all of them, I think I like probably my favorite is Chris Godwin tonight. That's why I'm probably running him as my receiver GPP. I mean, he's expensive, but he does have the highest floor and highest ceiling tonight out of all the Bucks receivers. I don't trust the Rams receivers, even though we know where the ball is going. It's either going to go to Coop Woods or Josh Reynolds, whose other value play is Reynolds. But I think we're going to see some touchdown variance roll Chris Godwin's way. He's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. And with that high ceiling he has, if he gets another touchdown or 2 tonight, he's going to blow up. So he's got the chemistry with Brady. He's probably, when he's on the field, he's probably more involved than any receivers. So if I'm leading any kind of GPP cap tonight, it's going to be Chris Godwin.
Yeah, and he actually has the best individual matchup of the trio. So I certainly agree with that. Yeah, you mentioned Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is there as well. He's actually been playing really well lately. The nice thing about this game is, you mentioned it, we know where the ball's going, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword tonight, because they're all priced accordingly, because you know where the ball's going. So, as I mentioned earlier, you're gonna have to get a little uncomfortable, take one of those value plays we've been mentioning, and go from there. So, but I 100% agree. This is really more of a GPP slate. If you do want to do some cash games, we've kind of laid out how to do that. So, you got anything else, Pete?
No, the only thing I'd say, as we're talking about Josh Reynolds, and I know Reynolds has actually had a good couple of games, and if you want to put him like in a GPP cap and slaps, he is more of a GPP play. I mean, I could definitely see that, but his price is only $10,000. But you got to remember the last few games. I mean, you had one game Tyler Higbee was out, another game Kupp was banged up. He only played like 50% of the snaps. And then third game is when Goff went crazy and threw 61 passes against Miami. So I would still be a little leery on Reynolds. I still want to get a couple more games in my belt and see how he really does. So I think he's more of a GPP play tonight. Yep,
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. This is a pretty straightforward slate.
Who catches the touchdowns, really?
Yep. And we talk about it all the time. If you're doing some MME, don't be afraid to throw a random ass play in there. A tight end 3, something like that.
Miller.
Yep, Scotty Miller. Van Jefferson, Cameron Brate, Cam Akers, guys like that. MME. I'm not doing that in cash. I'm not doing that in my main GPP lineup. But if I'm running multiple lineups, you need to get a little bit crazy. Those are the kind of guys I'm looking at. So, all right, Pete, your top plays article is getting posted right now. And as I mentioned, we will have a Discord chat and go over the game a little bit more in depth than this. And join in our Discord now. It's free. That chat will be premium only, but now is the time to join premium because we have a 40% off promo that is running only until December 9th. So jump on that now. College basketball coming, NBA coming, NHL after that. It's about to get crazy in here, and you can get it all super cheap price. So take advantage.
All right, good luck, guys.
Good luck.